is immortality? Is it a human becoming a robot? Some crazy mummy? Or swimming in a magical fountain? In the next 10 minutes, we will discover what immortality is and where it's going. Here we are in Howard County, Maryland, United States of America. And for us to start our journey, we have to go halfway across the globe to a place with the only magic fountain. That's right, Greece. Here we are in Greece, the Big Apple of ancient times, or should I say the Big Olive. Greece is known for its science, art, military, and religion. Religion was a major part of Greek culture, where epics, legends, and mythology took hold. A dream for many Greek citizens were to become a god, and the only way for that to happen was to become immortal. Stories of Hercules and other great heroes pushed that passion even further, but the idea of the Fountain of Youth could only be sculpted from historian and philosopher Herodotus. The father of history, was born in 484 BC. Herodotus was actually a part of ancient Greece's upper-class society. He is wealthy and well-traveled, and because of this, he is able to come up with the Romance of Alexander, one of his most famous writings. In one of the stories of Romance of Alexander, he describes the Fountain of Youth. In the story, he describes Alexander the Great going to the land of darkness, which scientists believe to be present-day Ethiopia. There, Alexander takes his servants, whose name is Alkir, to the land of darkness. There, his servant cleans a dead fish in local water, where the fish comes back to life. This is the basis of all versions, even the Indian and Babylonian versions, and many more. The interesting part of the story is that it's connected to the Quran, and Alexander the Great is believed to be in the Quran itself, as this was seen as a wonderful thing to be immortal in this such case. The next station in our immortal journey lands us in Africa, beautiful and exotic. But where in Africa does immortality takes us? Egypt. With a rich past, there is no wonder why our journey would lead us here. Immortality was very important to the Egyptians. Death was simply a door to another life. That's the reason why the Egyptians brought key elements with them to their burial when they died. The elements were the body, the ka, and the soul. These things were very important to become immortal. The person needed to be a good person to become immortal, as our hearts would be weighted. On one side of the scale would be a feather, another side would be the person's heart. Those who had bad hearts would lay in their tombs, feeling hunger and thirst forever. To avoid this fate, people would sometimes bring beetles to their burial because it was believed that it would please the gods and resurrect their souls. Here I have with me Milton Lane, retired educator and who specializes in history and still continues to learn more about history every day.
The Ka is the vital energy. It both sustains and creates life. It is symbolized by a miniature double of physical body, to which prayers are. The Ka is a kind of part of the soul, which is measured in the underworld as one approaches or enters the underworld against the scales of Ma'at. Ma'at is a Neteru, which is a power of God, which deals with righteousness, truth, truthfulness, and the like. And it's symbolized by a woman with outspread wings, but mocked in the Egyptian underworld measures an individual's soul to determine whether or not it has been truthful, it has been righteous. Now, this throne of judgment is from whence he judges an individual who is passing through the underworld. Results in an individual being passing the underworld and being measured at the scales of Mach, after which, if he or she is considered to be good, he passes on and eventually will wind up at the feet of Esau. If he decides, if it is found that he is evil, he winds up being devoured by the so-called devourer. Essentially is the process of immortality, where the individual, although dead, passes through the underworld, and if successful, joins Esau.
In ancient times, people related religion to immortality. But by the 1800s, it was no longer connected. Immortality took on a different origin. Instead of it being religious, it became surgical. Plastic surgery in the modern sense started in the 1800s with breast augmentations. Before the 1895, the fillers would consist of glass, metal, and ivory. The first successful procedure did not happen until 1895. During World War I, plastic surgery was taken more serious by physicians. By 1924, people could start going to school to become a plastic surgeon. By 1960s, plastic surgery was more safe and became more for cosmetic reasons. Liposuctions, Botox, and facial cosmetic surgeries are becoming more normal by 1980s, and by the 1990s, more than 1 million cosmetic surgeries are done a year, stating that people no longer look to the fountain of youth to look young, but the knife of youth to possibly look young forever. We have traveled to the well-established Greece, then to the beautiful Egypt, and we even have traveled through time. Now we have to push forward on this journey because by now, immortality has yet taken another turn. It started with religion, then to surgery. But now when humans say immortality, they really mean it. They are no longer going to search for a fountain or wait to die to reach the afterlife. People are going to create their bodies. And they received their influence by man's new best friend, the robot. Robots have been a part of science fiction for many years, but truth is stranger than fiction. Robots are no longer a fan-made comics. They are indeed reality, becoming more lifelike every day. Don't believe me? Take a look at this robot made from Dr. Henson.
My books are forgeries. Nobody wrote them. I am a fictionalizing philosopher, not a novelist. My novel and story writing ability is employed as a means to formulate my perception. The core of my writing is not art, but truth.
It is completely thinking on its own and looks horrifyingly lifelike. In Japan, these robots are being employed at some businesses. But science wants to take this further. Here is Dmitry Itskov, the founder of the 2045 movement. His dream is to take you and your memories and implant them into an avatar. And by 2045, this should be a reality. but he plans to do this with a motion of steps. As you can see with Avatar A, B, C, and D, within a few years' time, we could become no longer humans. And what would we call ourselves? Robots? Humans? The answer is not certain as of yet, but if given the opportunity, would you become immortal?